Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. It is episode 50.
50.
We did it.
50.
The 50s, man.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive, yeah?
Oh, it's a great time.
Perfect time.
Big boys.
Yeah.
Big episodes.
Big episodes.
I'll be honest with you. We made it about 49 episodes more than I thought we would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially after listening to the first one.
No, don't go to the first one.
When we did Robert Did All Part 2, I went back and referenced the first one, and I almost quit.
Strike one.
I almost phoned in my my own
Your
firing.
resignation.
Yeah.
Elian Gonzalez. You hear about this? Seen this?
What a line. Classic line.
That's
Hey,
improv at its best.
It's been a great week so far, and
Super week.
we've avoided all the news
Mm-hmm.
because Cameron will text us sometimes
Yeah.
and say, I've got a headline, and then we have to wait to hear it.
Oh, I get so antsy.
Now you got to wait about 20 seconds. All right, guys. A cross-dressing Florida man
Okay.
robs a bank,
Okay.
tries to steal a cop's gun,
Whoa.
does steal his cop car,
Okay.
and then proceeds to lead police on a wild chase.
I'm glad that you didn't say wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I
No
couldn't-
geese were involved.
Thank
Okay.
goodness.
Perfect.
Goomer Zindo
Come on.
Reyes
That's-
Jr.
No.
Go- Goomer Sindo Reyes the Jr.
Okay, so there's two of those.
Okay,
Yes.
So
Okay.
That has
Goomer.
Goomer. Well, Goomer for short.
Wow.
When you first hear Goomer, you assume white Caucasian man
Absolutely.
in overalls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you show up to middle school and they're like, "What's your name?" Andy.
Right.
What's your name?
Goomer.
Goomer Sindo.
Goomer Sendo.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, Goomer's not a name? I assumed I'd be one of three Goomers in this class.
I know.
Well, Goomer Sindo Reyes, he dressed himself up like a woman,
Okay.
decided to rob a Chase Bank in Seminole County.
With that name, he pulled it off.
Oh, definitely.
So he went to the teller, passed them a note, super classic.
Yeah.
The note said that he was demanding money and saying he had a weapon in his backpack.
Was it written in like pasta sauce or something? Because I don't see it written in pen.
No, but it was written in Spanish.
Okay.
Here's a translation of it.
Okay.
I have sufficient weapons to kill everybody here.
Right.
Holy
Give me
crap.
Give me your car keys. I want unmarked bills and nothing electronic because if so, I'll start to shoot.
Honestly, that's pretty scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just
Especially
sufficient
coming from
weapons.
Goomer Sindo.
I was going to
For
say
real.
the language in the beginning sounds like a Batman villain. Like I have sufficient weapons to kill
Yeah,
everyone.
I know.
Absolutely.
That's someone
pretty
who's
good.
very serious. He's very serious about what he's doing.
So the bank teller gave him $1,000 and he
Okay.
left.
Oh, okay. I'll give you $1,000 to go away.
I'm sorry. I will never understand the risk involved versus for $1,000.
I know.
Well,
It's
it's
just
like
the craziest
to rob
thing.
a bank. I
Yeah.
mean, coming out of there with $1,000, you got nothing almost.
Well, he thought about it. He thought banks, they don't have guns, but
Right.
they have cameras.
Uh-huh.
How do I work around that?
Cross dress.
Cross dress.
Right.
Boom. But now I showed up in a car. I want to get away in a different car.
Easy grand.
So he thought it through.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
So-
I think he thought it through.
Goomer decided to go across the street to a Pollo Tropical.
Yum.
Okay.
Great rice and chicken,
That
by the
means
way.
tropical bird of raptor.
Yes.
Raptor, yeah, raptor birds.
He goes in the men's restroom and takes off his disguise
Yep.
that he was dressed as a woman as.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And when he goes outside, an officer attempts to subdue him by tasering him, but Reyes was able to get away.
The officer didn't go, "Did you see a woman in there?"
He got away, ran across a highway to a apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
So the deputy chases him.
Nice.
Once he kind of gets him cornered, he goes for his gun,
Oof.
trying to order him to the ground,
Yep.
trying to order Reyes to the ground. Reyes ends up going after the officer's gun,
Nope.
which
Can't do
got
that.
him tased again.
What a patient officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't shoot him.
Yeah.
Somehow Reyes or Goomer escaped again. He ran back across the highway, jumped in the officer's patrol car,
Wow.
and decided to lead this long police chase. It ended up he crashed into multiple vehicles while this chase was going on, but nobody got seriously injured, and they eventually caught up to him and arrested him.
Sounds like a win-win-win.
He's a squirrely fella.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He just comes out of getting tased twice and comes out on top with
He must have got hit in like
the vehicle.
Adrenal bone or something because he just shot up and took off.
Let's be honest. He's probably pretty like greasy. He just slips right out.
I think I left his age out, but he's 51 years old, so that makes it even more impressive.
If you're wearing a dress and stockings and a wig,
right,
you start sweating immediately.
Yeah.
I can tell you that from.
I imagine he did all of this in high heels.
I have sufficient weapons
Yeah.
to kill everybody in here. That is terrifying.
That is
Sufficient weapons, yeah.
I'll never trust another 50-year-old.
Okay, so here's my suggestion. Here's my suggestion. I think for that statement alone, he goes in the shame corner.
Oh, okay.
Shame him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But on a serious note, like
And he should have went in the women's bathroom. That's where he messed up.
You got to commit if you're going to do it. You have to commit and go to the
and then
bathroom.
you come out as a dude.
Right. But I think honestly, like if you go to rob a bank, I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, what's the most I would threaten someone's life for? 30, 40 grand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thanks. Wow.
I was like $30-40. That sounds about right.
No, I'm thinking if I'm a bank robber, like I want a
some
significant,
cash.
a grand.
Yeah, no, I want to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, for real. I only want to do this one time and then I'm out.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocean's 1.
One big heist. We're gonna make a grand. And then we're out of the game.
That's what I'm going
we can
for.
buy a good used car. Well, a broken down used car.
Yeah.
That grand, bro.
Let's do it.
We're gonna live large.
So Goomer Sindo is in the shame corner.
Yeah, Goomer Sindo
absolutely.
Reyes Jr.
Yeah, I honestly,
Wow,
I think
how'd you memorize
I think
that?
senior Goomer senior needs to go in the shame corner too, just for naming his son Goomer Sindo Reyes Jr.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then Goomer Sindo Reyes Jr. goes into the shame corner next to his dad.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Goomer Senior's Reyes Jr. That's kind of fun to say.
You didn't even say it right.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Goomer Sindo is 100% a Dragon Ball Z character.
Probably.
Okay.
You're never gonna convince me otherwise.
I thought it was a movie. Goomer Sindo. Good evening, fellers.
Hello, Joshua.
So I got a letter
Okay.
today, and it starts with compliments.
Thank you.
Nice.
You guys, smart, funny, charismatic.
Wow.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So you probably don't struggle if you get caught in an awkward situation,
Right.
being
Oof.
so smart, funny, and charismatic
Right.
as you are.
Uh-huh.
But I do struggle. You got any tips or advice to help me escape those awkward situations?
So this person assumes that we do not get into awkward situations.
Yeah, I think because we're so smooth talking.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, when I hit puberty at 19, I didn't get any.
I remember the party.
right.
It
Right.
was a good party.
I haven't
Your
had
dad was so proud.
I haven't had awkward situations since then.
Uh-huh.
Prior to 19, I had a lot of awkward situations.
Yeah, probably.
I remember not being able to like walk normal and realizing I'm not walking normal.
Like your knee hasn't grown in.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
His Nebos.
My patella.
So I don't know that I handled this properly, and I don't know that I have any advice.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you handled it.
When I was 16, I was a very anxious driver. I was scared to get on the interstate. I had this mentality even at 16
That's clueless.
that like I was going to get lost and not make it home ever.
Uh-huh.
Like,
in
I
the
was
big city.
And I was 16 years old. And so one night I was driving down the highway, in town, like I wasn't on the interstate. And this car pulls up next to me, and it's late at night, and
Nice.
I'm already anxious. I think I couldn't see or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you do have glasses.
Yeah, and this white car pulls up next to me, and I'm trying not to look, but it's obvious that they're matching my speed
Uh-oh.
because I drive 5 under the speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that's
Unless we're on the interstate, then it's like 15 under.
Thank you.
And if he's pulling out in traffic, then it's 50 under.
Yeah, precious cargo. Okay. So this car is like matching my speed, and I can tell the driver's trying to get my attention. So immediately, I'm thinking, I've seen shows. I know what's going to happen. They're going to run me off the road. They're going to rob me.
Absolutely.
They're going to put
this
me.
Is the Celica?
Yes, they're going to put me in the trunk of my own car. So I'm driving down the road, and it's going on for a couple exits, and so finally, I slam on my brakes and make a U-E to go the opposite direction.
Okay, so you were headed somewhere, and you decided, nope.
No, I was heading home, and I decided to go the opposite way and take back roads. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I see the cars done the same thing.
Nope.
And so now it's confirmed, like, hey, they're following me.
Yeah.
And so I take some back roads, and I end up at my parents' house, where I live at the time.
Cool.
And I sprint into the front door, like I'm running, and I look out the window of my house, and I see the car just like creeping down my road.
Gosh. Nope. That's
and so the whole time I'm like, man, like this is terrifying. So I woke my dad up. I tell him, and the next day at school, this girl named Nikki comes up to me, and she was like, hey, my friend and I kept trying to get your attention last night. So basically, basically what happened is two girls
are trying to wave you down
trying to wave
late
me
at night.
They recognize me from school, and I know them, like we're friends. They're trying to get my attention, but because I refuse to look, and then I run, and then I run into my house.
I can just picture him just dead straight eyes straight ahead, not turning a little bit to the left.
I was terrified. I don't know what I thought it was, like cartel or something. I don't know, but like
it's very well could have been.
It could have been, yeah. Central Florida, Middle America. But yeah, so I just told her, hey, look, earlier in the night, some guys were trying to fight me. I thought you were them, and I just like so if she's listening, hey.
So your advice is to lie.
My advice is if you're in an awkward situation, just lie about it. Just lie and say things that make you look good.
Cool.
That is really good advice.
Thank you.
I like it. Let's see. Awkward stories. I got tons.
Now, how do you get out of awkward situations?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Because I'm always in awkward situations.
Love it.
So this one was really awkward. That involves Wayne too.
Oh,
Thank you.
I can only imagine. It's just you two?
Yeah.
Start both trying to get out of the...
So we talked about us playing in a band.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're not going to cry about it.
Okay, good.
But this is probably the weirdest gig that we ever got because somebody actually paid us.
My mind is racing.
So
you remember the paid one?
Yeah. So I get called. I'm in college at this point.
Nice.
I get called to the principal or the president of this university.
Jeez.
I get called to the office.
Okay.
I get like an email. And I go up there and she's like, so I heard that you're in a band. And I'm like, that's weird. Who'd you hear that from?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she said, I'm planning an engagement party for a friend of mine.
Wow. Okay.
I would love to hire you guys. I need a couple hours worth of music. And
college boys.
We're doing like a party, and that's not what we did. We didn't do we weren't like a cover band.
Weren't sellouts.
Yeah, we wrote music, played for.
Well, this is very early on too in our career. So
we hadn't been playing very long.
No, so the fact that we even were getting an offer like this was crazy.
Or your name got around.
So I didn't want to do it. I called Wayne. I'm like, listen, she wants us to play this. And he's like, I mean, I don't want to do it either. No. But I'm like, I also feel bad for turning this lady down. She's the president of the university.
Bingo.
He's like, so I'm like, I'm just going to give her a crazy number.
Cool.
So I went in. I gave her a crazy number. I mean, crazy number.
Yeah.
She didn't blink an eye.
What?
She's like, absolutely.
Jeez.
I'll write you a check. She wrote me a check on the spot. So now we're stuck doing this 2 hours of doing party music.
2 hours of party music.
Yep.
Like Cameron said, we don't do covers.
No.
Oh yeah.
We do original stuff. And we just started we weren't even touring or anything. We just started the band.
How long till this is
we had a week, I think.
Cool.
So we show up to the venue, we get set up, we're outside of the building. Beautiful. And she's like, people are going to be, coming in and out. And so we get set up outside and somebody comes up, I can't wait to hear you guys. She said, you're doing all Jimmy Buffett. You guys are Jimmy Buffett cover band. I'm like, wait, what? And that's when we notice everything is like Margaritaville.
Oh my God.
Like decorations.
Okay. I know what happened here. She was supposed to book the Jimmy Buffett cover band. She didn't. She forgot. And then boom,
she got mixed up.
She called you and she's like, I got the band.
So she's like, I can't wait to hear all the Jimmy Buffett.
Holy crap.
And she's like, so what songs are you doing? And I'm like, Margaritaville? She's like, okay, yeah, that's one. What else? And I'm like, we got some. And I mean, so awkward.
Classics.
Like literally 2 hours of Jimmy Buffett?
How many Jimmy Buffett songs do you know by heart that you could perform?
Absolutely zero.
Yeah, I mean, Margaritaville was a stretch.
Yeah.
And that's only because we knew the title.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
So we got set up.
Uh-huh.
It was so cold that night in Florida. Literally nobody came out to hear us.
What?
It
Wow.
was so cold. We were outside.
That's how to do it.
So we got lucky that we didn't know 2 hours worth of Margaritaville. But we still got paid. Next week we had a new van. So
a new van?
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is that actually helped launch like the better portion of our career. And we would tell that story like we got paid an absurd amount of money to play 2 hours of Margaritaville
by ourselves outside.
And that's no exaggeration. We played the same song for 2 hours.
Holy
and
crap.
people came out and they were so drunk.
We would just stop singing. So if somebody came outside, that's when we would start singing the song.
Yeah.
And then just keep playing.
Older drunk women love some Jimmy Buffett though.
Yeah.
Older drunk women loved us.
Yeah, I believe that.
Amen.
Yeah.
We got hired again by the same lady.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Cam's baby face?
Come on.
Who wouldn't? So myself, do I have any advice for handling awkward situations?
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
I find myself in them pretty every day.
Whoever
Pretty much every day.
wrote this in, you're 0 for 3.
Yeah. So hopefully this helps.
Don't be like us.
I sat on it and I thought about how do I narrow down all my most awkward situations, and then this one hit me. This one takes the cake. So I'm working for the golf cart repair place now. They always sell golf carts and stuff.
Okay.
And so my boss says, "Hey, you got a service call. It's at Sunny Hills."
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I've never been there before. And
Sounds
he's like,
beautiful.
Sounds really cute.
Well, yeah, he gave me the warning. He said, it's a nudist camp.
Oh, geez.
Excuse me?
It's a nudie camp.
Okay.
So
It's called what now?
It's Sunny Hills.
Sunny Hills.
I mean, that makes sense now.
Okay.
It really does.
I guess it's a play on words.
Yeah.
So he basically says, the guy doesn't want you to bring it in, so you got to go work on it there. And I'm like, geez.
So you have to, he didn't want you to take the golf cart. He wants you to come on site to the nudist camp to work on the golf cart.
Yes. And some people are particular about their carts. They keep stuff in them. And they'd prefer you to just work on it there and fix it there.
Right.
If we take it, it may be a few days.
Golf carts, can I explain real quick? Golf carts are a huge deal in Central Florida.
Yeah.
There's so many retirement places.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, golf carts, that's random. No, I mean, they are everywhere.
Oh, well, on my way over
Everywhere.
here, it's not golf cart, but I pull up to the stop sign and the brake lights in front of me are like 6 inches off the ground and flashing. So I'm like, okay, well, this is weird. And then some headlights hit it. It's a cowboy on a Segway waiting to cross the street.
Yeah, that's Central Florida. 100%.
So golf carts are pretty tame compared to what we see every day. So I pull up to the gate and security guard, he knows why I'm there. So he's like, okay, yeah. You're the golf cart
He's
guy.
like, take your clothes off.
Well, you and the security guard are the only one dressed.
Basically. So the thing about nudist camps is that super non-judgmental,
Right.
super welcoming. If you're nude.
Yeah.
If you're not nude, however, if you're fully clothed and you're driving slowly and staring,
You're a creep.
you kind of get the wrong attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is like a campground, like there are lots, but they're not numbered, and everybody has a different camper with no address on it.
So you're not driving around looking at Sunny Hills. You're driving around looking for the address.
Yeah. So I'm peering into like towards campers and stuff.
Right.
And fully clothed.
Right.
And luckily, I guess the thing with being a nudist is if you're a nudist, you have to be outside.
Okay. Oh,
Because
jeez.
if you're nudist inside, you're not. That's not special.
It's not sunny
You're
inside.
just at home.
Yeah.
You're just at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be labeled a nudist, you had to be outside. So pulling in this place, it opens up fields, courts. I mean, I saw this looked like I had walked into a sports authority, and they were showing me all the equipment. It was like there's like tetherball, yard bowling, tennis. There's a soccer game going on. There's 2-on-2 basketball going on. Shuttlecock game, beanbag game. It's like it's a trade show or it's like the history of sports and just generations of all old people.
But everybody's naked.
Everybody's naked. And so I'm like, oh, how do I not look?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Tetherball?
Yeah.
And you've got to ask for directions.
Yeah. I kind of make my way. It's a loop.
Yeah.
With the big field and sports and everything in the middle. I mean, there's a tiny lake and the lake blob. Old people just flying off. Oh yeah, water gun fight.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You're describing like my ideal summer camp. Like minus the nude old people. Like I want to go somewhere like that.
That would be the biggest part of it, though.
Well, nude except everybody has the proper footwear on, which is even more mind hurting when you pull in and you go, okay, I get it. They're nude.
Right.
But then you got like Shaq high tops.
Right.
For 2-on-2, the black and white ones that make you dizzy. You got an old guy wearing Shaq high tops.
Right.
You got a guy at the putt-putt course wearing golf shoes.
Right.
Soccer shin guards, I guess, are acceptable. I think it's knees and down. You can be clothed.
Okay.
Right.
But it's knees to neck.
What about a hat?
You have to be. There were some visors.
Okay.
But they were like gambling visors. So they had some transparency to them.
Okay. Good.
So I finally, the guy waves me down and I'm like, okay. He knows I'm a clothy.
Right.
And he's a nudie.
Right.
Yeah.
He's most likely going to be clothed to make me comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
welcoming.
Yeah. No, he was a bronze statue, fully nude, no fig leaf, standing there at his cart at an angle, like waving me down. And I'm like, okay, don't be the guy. Don't be the guy. Don't be the guy. And he's like, hey, golf cart guy. And I'm like, yeah, golf cart guy. Cool. So I get out and of course he wants to shake my hand and I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, Rod. And I'm like,
yeah, I see.
Okay. And he's like, call me Rod. And I look at my paperwork and it's like, Rodney. And I'm like, okay, Rod. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And
Hot rods.
So the service call is makes noise while driving. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I got to take it for a spin. And he's like, okay, hold on. So I'm like, all right, he's got to get the key. Got to get the key.
Yeah.
So no, he comes back with a towel and he throws it over the vinyl seats. He's like, the seats get hot. And I'm like, oh, but his toss stays wrinkled on my side. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit down. He's like, straighten that side.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, grimy. So I straighten the corner with a little bit of thumb and forefinger and we go for a drive. So now it's a fully clothed 20s.
So he's sitting next to you.
Yeah, fully clothed 20s male and old big Rod sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And so we go for a drive and sure enough, I hear like scraping sound. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to take a guess because it kind of changes with speed and you hit speed bump. So we get back and I get under the cart, but I don't want to bring the jack out. I want to find the problem as fast as possible.
Right.
And luckily it was a palm frond that had kind of jammed up in the like the brake line had tangled it. So I'm under there and I've got like my knife and this guy's super talkative and I can just I can hear him, but I can't see anything. Can't turn my head. I'm just under there with my hands and my face and I can hear him walking around the cart and he's talking to me and he's like, I forget his lines, but they were super confusing at the time because he's like, hey buddy, where'd you come from? And I'm like, why is he talking like this now?
Right.
And I'm like, just Davenport. And he goes, oh, where's your mom? And I'm like, so I don't say anything. And he goes, oh, buddy, where's your mom? And I'm like, I'm almost done under here. She's on the coast. And he goes, you want a treat? And I'm like,
geez.
okay. I'm cutting like crazy under this golf cart. I'm just like yanking. I don't care if I'm cutting my hand.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, he doesn't say, I don't say anything. And he goes, you want a treat? I think I got one in my pocket.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, I got to go. So I just.
Pocket? What pocket?
So yeah.
Skin pocket.
So I'm like, what's happening under here? So I scoop my way out and I go, palm frond. And he's holding a dog. And apparently it was the neighbor's dog.
Oh,
And-
so he was talking to the dog and not talking to you?
Yeah, and I'm answering. And so I just like, this was it. And I get in the
Where's
truck.
your mom? On the coast?
You want a treat? Oh, I'm good. Holy crap. I was red faced. He was bronze bodied.
Oh, boy.
And he had heard me. He had heard me answer.
Yeah, and so palm frond is like it's a big green palm leaf from a palm tree.
Yeah, this was dead. And so it was
They're
making
all
some
over in
scrapey.
Florida. So that's stuck under the cart. You're trying to cut that free while the guy's talking to a puppy.
Yeah, a dog I guess had ran across the street. He didn't know where the owner was, so he's like, "Hey, buddy."
This is perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
I love it.
That was
Because when
supremely
it's going through your mind, you're thinking, I'm one of two clothed people here. The other one's at the front gate and on security. I'm deep.
I'm deep under the cart.
Yeah. And you're deep in the neighborhood. You've seen
I'd have to shimmy out.
all
You're
these
behind
sports.
enemy lines.
Oh, absolutely.
This guy's about to go for a tournament of no hands tetherball,
Yeah, downtown Bonanza.
downtown Bonanza. And so you're thinking, this is it for me.
Yeah, I have to shimmy out, and now I'm defenseless.
Right.
You know my legs. I mean, I'm soccer legs.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that's what's enticing.
Right. But he was just talking to a puppy dog.
Yeah, a stray dog that had ran across.
I honest to God, like because I've known you for so long, I'm still amazed that there are stories that I haven't heard before.
I have
never
such a
heard those.
terrible memory.
But it works out though.
Yeah, because I have to sit and concentrate and meditate. Okay, awkward situations, and then it hits me, and then I live like 8 hours of cringe thinking about that time,
Yeah.
and then I tell y'all and I tell the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, to the world, we're glad that that you keep writing in these conversation starters for us, because I feel like we get to know each other better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
If Big Rod's still out there,
If Big Rod, if you're listening, my man, come hang out at the studio.
I think that some advice to take away from Josh's story: just stay away from Sunny Hills.
yes, absolutely.
The Nickelodeon Studios were born June 7th, 1990.
Whoa.
Whoa.
1990.
I know. So if they were still around, they would be.
Still older than me.
Of course.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
So prior to the studios being built, the channel Nickelodeon had been around for about 25 years.
What? Wow.
It started in 1977 when a lady by the name of Dr. Vivian Horner developed a children's program for PBS.
Okay.
Cool.
She was a director there at the station, and she kind of realized there was this need for big budget, mainstream kid shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Nickelodeon, the channel, had been around a bit, but it was just like airing cartoons and stuff like that. But they realized there was this need for like live interactive entertainment. And so it exists at this point in the 70s and 80s just purely as like a broadcast agency.
Okay.
But they aren't actually filming stuff. Like it's all animation.
Okay.
So they don't really need like a ton
Broadcast
of space, right?
Like Cartoon Network.
Right,
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
But in the late 80s, the team at Nickelodeon had developed this idea, and they were pitching it to everybody. So basically, they wanted to film live action shows, most of them with an audience,
Absolutely.
and they wanted to make it to where kids could really get involved. Like the kids would be the stars.
My
Kids
dream.
watching kids, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the theory was entertainment for kids that featured kids. So if you're a child at home and you're watching one of these shows and you see a kid your age kind of participating, like naturally you're going to be like, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
Like you're going to project on, onto the kid
jealousy.
on TV,
Yeah.
right?
My son's only 6 months old, and he is drawn to watching other kids.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
just one thing. They
Creeper.
just want to watch
Creepy
other
baby.
kids.
Well,
You take that back.
well, the problem is like doing live shows in a studio for kids, featuring kids at that time was unheard of. So you had like Sesame Street and stuff like that, but that was mainly adults.
Yeah.
Kids were kind of featured, but the adults were kind of running the show. And Nickelodeon wanted to do this on like a big scale. But every time they pitched it to somebody, it got rejected. Nobody wanted to do it.
Like, do you have a head kid in mind?
Right. Kind of like
gonna
one of
run
those
this kid?
Yeah, but they didn't want a casting department. They wanted like
Real
a live
kids.
audience, like real kids. So in 1988, they got lucky because a theme park in Orlando, Florida called Universal Studios had been trying to do the exact same thing.
Whoa, nice.
So Universal is one of 2 theme parks that we have here in Florida. They're a direct competitor to Disney World. They're like the alternative. And they wanted to do the same thing, but they didn't have any content.
Yep.
Like they were struggling to make content.
Yeah.
So when they hear Nickelodeon pitching this idea, they basically like they offer and say, "Hey, we'll provide the space for you here in Orlando
Jackpot.
if you provide the content."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's how Nickelodeon Studios came to be in Central Florida. And so for a long time, Nickelodeon Studios basically was this huge tourist attraction here. You could not only come and watch the shows being filmed, but if you were lucky enough and you were there,
Oh, yeah.
You got to eat a goldfish.
yeah.
No, that didn't happen.
Oh, my bad.
Well, you could
Only
be
happened at
chosen
your
to
camp.
do something like that,
Yeah.
like on TV.
I wish.
And then like kids all around the world would see you on these shows. So
Absolutely.
like it's kind of a big deal. But what's crazy is the location of Nickelodeon Studios is actually only 30 minutes away from our studio.
Mhm.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Florida Man on Florida Man studio is half an hour away from this place. And so as kids, we all live like right down the road from
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And so for like a lot of Florida kids, I think that was like a legendary, like,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a dream.
Let me be on Nickelodeon.
I want
show.
to be on that show. So shortly after moving to Orlando, Nickelodeon begins production on their very first studio live action program called Family Double Dare.
Oh, my gosh. That was the
what?
first. That was the first.
That's the big one.
Wow.
And this show is like so legit. So if you haven't seen it, stop listening right now.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It'll change your life.
Never come back.
Never
either.
come back. But basically, you have 2 teams. You've got a red team and a blue team.
Yep.
And they're each a family.
Yes, they are.
Hence the name. So you got like a mom and dad, 2 siblings on each team.
Amen.
And you got this hunky host called Mark Summers.
Oh, man. That dew on him. That
He
haircut.
had great head of hair. He's
Sunny
in a,
Hills, am I right?
Amen.
yeah, he's in a suit. He's got shoulder pads in the suit.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking good. He's
For dominance.
Right. He's quizzing both families. And actually it's really close to kind of like what we do here. Like Josh comes in super hunky.
Yep.
Great hair.
Shoulder pads on.
Shoulder pads
Yeah.
in his suit. Quizzing me and Cameron
Absolutely.
every
It's pretty
single week.
similar.
Yeah.
actually.
So, if you get a correct answer, you get a monetary award on
Okay.
the show, and this allows that particular team to maintain control. And so the host is going to
Sweet.
continually ask them questions, right? But if you get it wrong or if you don't answer in time, it goes to your opponent.
Yep.
The,
Same question?
The trick with Family Double Dare, is that your opponents can dare you to answer it. So if you're thinking about passing it, the other team can say, "Dare."
Whoa.
And that gives you the incentive to answer it because it doubles the prize money.
I love it. I love it.
But if you still kind of hesitate, you can toss it back to the other family
Jeez.
and say double dare.
This is
Dare.
super complex.
And that's a quadruple amount of money.
As a kid, I didn't realize how much of the rules I wasn't following.
Right. Because what
There's too much math.
what you're waiting for is that next statement. Because
Oh,
once
yeah.
it goes dare, double dare, the only next level is for them to go physical challenge.
Oh my gosh. And at that point,
That's
I mean,
when
the crowd is
it
running
hits
around.
the fans.
Fists are pumping.
It's like
confetti.
the closest thing we have to like a gladiator situation from Rome.
yeah.
Like basically what you have, physical challenge is what every kid hopes for. I would be at school thinking about the physical challenges. Like if someone calls it, I'm getting hype in my desk, like just sitting
Let's
in
go.
class. Like
What do you think the brainstorming? They're like, okay, dare, double dare. The next thing's going to be like some type of physical challenge, but what are we going to call it?
physical challenge.
Oh yeah, okay, physical
It's
challenge.
a big deal. Like these graphics come on the screen, like it's massive. So when you're watching Family Double Dare on TV and someone says physical challenge, like that's a hype word. Like you know it's time to go. And so what you're watching is like, well, you're witnessing ultimate athleticism.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so to kind of help
From
paint-
kids.
yeah.
well, and families. So like
Adrenaline hits. Boom.
to kind of help paint a
Everybody.
picture, these families who were chosen to be on this show, they're usually in Orlando on vacation.
Yes.
They're normal, everyday people because that was the Nickelodeon model. It's what they
Yeah.
wanted to do. So you have these physical challenges, and when they happen, you've got these dad bods that are going across monkey bars, right? And they're looking soft and pudgy because they're dads.
Yep.
Their shirts are tucked in for no reason.
Can't be in good shape and be a dad.
While they're going across monkey bars, there's like a cannon shooting pies at them.
Absolutely.
You've got a big haired mama sliding down the
What?
slides. You know,
Oh,
because
okay,
back then they
big
got the big
haired
hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like slime dumping on them for no reason
Yep.
from the ceiling. And then meanwhile, the kids are swimming across like this ball pit with a
Yes.
flag that's hidden.
Oh, yeah.
And the entire time, hundreds of children are in like the stadium seating, like screaming and going crazy.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
hype.
I'm hype
Bro,
too.
I got chill bumps talking about it. But
there
here's the
needs to
thing.
be an adult version. Let's get serious.
This
here.
was Nickelodeon's first show.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
So, like, when they come and launch the studios, they launch with this. And
Yeah.
I mean,
They go,
launches
we struck
hard.
gold.
where
We
do you
struck
go from
platinum.
there?
Yeah.
It's a massive hit globally, so much so that this company called Viacom, who at the time they owned MTV and VH1,
Oh, cool channels.
they purchased Nickelodeon
Whoa, wow.
Wow, big boys.
because they're like, hey, this is going somewhere.
You're
This
onto
is special.
something. We got the whole age range now.
Right. Well, now Nickelodeon's got baller money.
Yeah.
And so they launched another show called Global Guts.
That's what I was waiting on.
Yeah, so Global Guts is like
love
this Olympic style show where kids from around the world come and compete in like real competitions.
Cam is the whole time he's sitting here just clueless. Like, not even like his eyes aren't even searching for a memory.
I remember Family Double Dare.
Okay.
I don't remember Global Guts.
On Nick at Night, he was watching a Family Double Dare on Nick at Night.
Global Guts is a legendary show.
yeah.
It's a mega hit. But they follow Global Guts with this show called Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Everybody knows that
Can
one.
we take it back? Take it back, Mo.
Yeah.
The Global Guts.
Okay.
The aggro crag. You got to take home a glowing piece of
Of
rock.
this mountain.
I
if you
remember
want.
that,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
The grand finale in Global Guts was you had to climb basically an active mountain
Yeah, a
inside
metal
the studio
mountain.
while people were just throwing crap at you.
Yeah, big boulders and stuff.
And
Jeez.
so these kids are this is before CrossFit. These kids are just
Yeah.
trying to survive.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, but Legends of the Hidden Temple was the next big hit for Nickelodeon.
So good.
Man,
well,
so 2 out of the park right now.
It's terrifying.
Oh,
if,
yeah,
if
no,
you, if you
that's
think
just-
about it,
that's another level of scary.
this show is like 6 or 7 teams of like 2 kids apiece, and you have to run through this temple and solve puzzles. But meanwhile, there's this random chance that a temple guard who's dressed like an Aztec
Nope.
soldier is going to jump out and tackle you.
This is a nightmare. Every kid left with damage to
It's
their
like a
brain.
fever dream.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you think about it as
The
an
worst
adult,
type.
like the kids, theoretically, the obstacle course was easy, but because you're so scared and hesitant, it's like, is he going to get me? And then when they come out, I would scream.
It's nothing but corners and rooms and doors. Let me put the three in order, and then boom, you're wrapped up.
Yeah.
by a grown man.
That's the thing is like, the host would get so like excited about it. So like the kid would be like in the shrine of the silver monkey,
Wow,
putting together
yeah,
this puzzle.
that's the statue.
And then you would see the temple guard sneak around. So you're at home, you're seeing it. The poor kid has no idea.
Yeah.
He gets trucked by this grown up.
Yep.
And then the
Craps
host
his pants.
Yeah, the host is like, yeah,
got him.
he's like
But
celebrating
he
this
does a
kid.
fake. Oh no, he got by the temple guard.
And the thing about it is for all that trauma, the grand prize was like a freaking bike.
no,
like
but it was a Huffy.
I guess, but like
Matching Huffies.
you're
boys
never
and
going to
girls.
recover from that tackle.
Absolutely not.
No.
But needless to say, these shows made the studio like a ton of money, but they also shaped like an entire generation. I mean,
Yeah.
and being a local living near that, we were just like, it was all legendary. But unfortunately, the studios, they stopped being profitable because the company, after being purchased by Viacom, started focusing on sitcoms. And with
Ew,
sitcoms,
gross.
like you need a different environment. Like
Yeah.
you need like smaller, close sets. So they moved everything to California.
Snorefest.
And in
Gross.
April of 2005, Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando closed its doors for good.
Oh, the colorful building.
Right. It was orange and green. You could
With
see
the
it from
big
the road.
thing outside, the fountain that would spin.
Well, the fun part about all of this is that like when these shows kind of go off the air, eventually you start kind of hearing the truth, especially now with the internet. You like,
Oh yeah.
people are sharing stories like, no, I was on that show. Like, here's what
Yeah.
happened. And so like there are rumors of kids like getting hurt on set, and then it was like being covered up. Like, hey,
Oh,
don't
geez.
I
tell
don't know how
anybody.
kids wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah. How would you not?
Right.
Yeah.
So there were families who were chosen to be on Family Double Dare, but then they were given a consolation prize because, quote, they weren't fit for television, quote.
Okay. They can't do that now.
I remember seeing families and being like, no, they're not fit for television. So like, I want to know who got disqualified from the
Wow.
show. But one story was emailed to us at our show here
All right.
back when we did our 80s episode. And it was a story of a woman who was on Family Double Dare. She was hit in the face by a pie, which was a common thing on that show.
And
But
those things had they were metal tins,
they
right?
were like tinfoil.
Okay.
And it's whipped cream is all it was. And so she was hit in the face by the host, Mark Summers. And apparently she was hit so far in the face that it caused her it was a traumatic experience, caused her trauma.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so she hires some lawyers and they go after Nickelodeon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her husband claims, hand to God, this is true. Her husband claimed that she was traumatized so much
Don't even.
that she refused to sleep with him for 4 months.
Oh,
What?
okay. Well, that's okay. I thought she was putting off desserts like that
Yeah.
segment of desserts.
Right.
like
So that would
pies
be
in
that would be
general.
funny. Also, I feel like maybe she could have been just not wanting to hang out with her
Yeah, I
husband.
think. Yeah,
And she was like, "Hey, remember when I got hit in the pie?"
that's why.
At Nickelodeon
You see how these
Studios?
are related.
Bringing
Yeah,
up
you
some
s-
bad memories.
Here's the thing, though. That's the story
Dirty.
they went with, and they ended up settling out of court for $30,000.
Well, I think it's
Jeez.
loss of consortium. I think it's the.
That's what they
legal
call it
term.
now.
$30,000 for a pie in the face? I'll do it.
Well, and
Amen, baby.
with that being said, I feel like as a grown adult, I would 100% go on the shows and just rock the crap out of it. Like,
This confident boy.
just love it. But here's the thing. So one of the big major features on Nickelodeon was this green stuff called GAC.
yes.
And that was the slimes coming out of the ceilings. They would launch
Out
it
of
out
the
of like,
nose.
the
Noses.
GAC is the store one, right? That you
yeah,
can
like
buy.
one of the punishments for like getting a question wrong was sitting in this like electric chair looking thing while a trebuchet across the room launched GAC in your face.
Yeah,
And it would hit with like some pressure, man.
and kids were pumped.
Yeah,
to
and
do
they
it.
just loved it. It was
Yeah.
like a weird
Who wouldn't?
hazing thing. But here's the thing. So apparently GAC is the street name for heroin.
Wait, what?
Oh, okay.
And so the producers knew about it
Uh-huh.
and took joy in marketing
GAC.
GAC to
Wow.
kids. And they ended up getting like put on the shelves in Walmart
Yep.
and Kmart. It's before Target. Like all of this stuff. And they knew about it the whole time. Like it was like
Jeez.
Some
basically
really
like
confusing conversations happened between a
Yeah.
druggy dad and a kid.
that
Where's
was
my
my GAC.
GAC?
And then the dad's like, "Go to the store, give me some GAC."
I know.
And the kid comes home
With some green slime.
Nickelodeon slime.
Yeah, but it's really cool though to think that like some of the shows that like not just Floridians obviously, but kids around the world
Yeah, global
watched,
guts, bro.
and it happened like 28 minutes from our studio. And you know we get to go there as a kid and just think it's kind of normal, but you know it's
Yeah, but as the three of us,
Did you ever
none
go
of
watch
us-
it live?
I was
Nope.
there. Yeah, I've been, but I was never chosen. I think just mainly because of my overall. I was too fit for TV.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They didn't want
yeah.
kids at home being
and
like.
you were saying, "Pie me, pie me."
and I was
pie me
I was
in
like
the
I was
face."
blowing up at the host.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Summers.
I was blowing kisses at the other mom on the other team. So
I had the same experience with Mo on Global Guts.
She was good looking.
Yep, and
Yeah.
she was English.
And she had that weird accent. Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
English?
it's just an English
The
accent.
weird one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's been a good week.
Yeah.
And
Send in your stories.
yeah, send in
Yeah,
your story.
for
We
sure.
would love to hear about
Oh yeah.
if you participated on any show on Nickelodeon or any TV show.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Any TV
write in
show.
and tell us about it. We will read it next week. We'll pick the best one and we'll read it on air. And listen, 50 episodes, man.
50.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you
did
guys
it.
so much for listening. I think every single week for the past 3 months, we have broken our individual download record. And that just it blows us away. You guys are so good to us.
You're
and it
telling people, which
continues
is
to
cool.
grow. Yeah, it's amazing. So check us out if you don't mind at fmofm.com. If this is your first time,
Yeah.
you can donate on the show if you love it. It really helps the program go.
Yeah,
and
$1 per episode.
it moves forward. It's fantastic. And we also on social media, it's FMOFM podcast.
Yep.
And we do appreciate you guys reaching out. Send us your stories, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
See ya. GAC.